We're already in Africa, and I could not miss coming back to Shabalala Safaris. This is where I cut my teeth. This is the first place I ever went in Africa, and this family and I are just really close. We're good friends. Mike comes and sees us in the States, so I'm flying back through Joburg. We're just going to take a little car ride and we'll go hunt Shabalala for a couple days.
Growing up ranching is a simple life. It taught me values crucial to carrying on our heritage. Living off the land and taking care of the animals on it was part of life. From the mountains in Montana, the deer stands in Texas, to the plains of Africa, I have been blessed to go on these great adventures. This is where we practice conservation. Hunting and fishing plays a major part in this effort. Being out here with my family, my friends, is what makes memories that will carry me through my lifetime. I'm just a simple blue-collar guy with a passion for the outdoors, and I want to bring that to you.
Coming back is always fun to see friends, and I guess now I call my African family. So we show back up. I'm excited to have Crystal with me. Crystal and I, we're just kind of talking. Last time I was here, and I'd call her from Africa every now and then and check in. So now I'm getting to bring her back to where I first hunted. It's going to be a fun trip, and just the terrain's so different. It's a whole nother experience here in Africa.
Well, you know what, Shabalala has been in our family now for 30 years, and to me it's a great part of my passion is this farm. And it's been a hunting farm for many years, even before we even acquired it. And I think it's a property that has got great animals and test your hunting skills. I mean, if you hunt this property properly, by the time you've got your trophy, you've put in a few hours and you're going to get good rewards.
Shabalala is so different than anywhere else that we hunt in Africa because of the mountains and the terrain. You've got lots of elevation. It's kind of more of a physical hunt if you want it to be. And we trained a little bit for these hunts, and we try and stay in shape. We want to get out there and hike and go see other country. Throw some wilderness athlete in our pack. We're up on the top of these mountains looking for kudu, looking for inyala, lots of impala, and one of the animals on my hit list this time is a baboon. Some of the farms here lately, the baboons have gotten so out of hand. The troops are so destructive, they're coming in, and so we're going to take the long range out, see if we can't help the baboon population get down to where it's manageable. Get all dialed in. Every time we get on a new plane, it's always good to zero your gun. We changed elevation. We were at 5,000 feet in Namibia. Now we're down around 2,503. So I want to change my turret. We get it touching holes, and it's time to go out and hunt. We're gonna go hike up this draw, and it's so cool here. It's such a different hunt. I had a blast hunting with my bow, but now it's time to get out the long range, and this is the perfect terrain to try it out. And sure enough, we get up this draw and we jump a big troop of baboons about 500 yards.
There's one on the very top. Oh, there's a huge one on the ground. Whoa, he's big.
Blue Collar Adventures, proudly sponsored by Spot Hog, the world's toughest archery products. Vortex Optics, the force of optics. Newmont Mining Corporation, Stealth Cameras. Lit Coolers, get cool, get tough, get lit. Walker Game Ears.
These baboons are scary when they're out of control like this. There's so many of them here and they're so destructive. You know, even in town, they tell stories of them coming and stealing children. It's a management process. If I can take out one of these big males and maybe slow down the population a little bit, it's going to be a good thing for everything. When we get set up, they're 500 yards away. Not a problem for this Eskimo. Farmer here that they've been coming in and tearing his house up. We're not far up the draw from there. They've been coming in, they tore up their dog, almost killed him. So we hike all the way around this canyon. That's the one thing about long range shooting. Everybody's like, well, it's easy, you just sit there and shoot them way off there, but then you gotta go get them. We hike up this rocky ridge. It takes us about 2 hours to work this ridge all the way to over where the baboon was. Shabalala has world-class kudu, and we get to the top of this mountain and we saw 4 of them. That's what's awesome. You want to go hunt kudu, you don't want to shoot them from a blind, you want to go hike and work for them. Shabalala is the place. We had these 4 bruiser bulls, you know, within 400 yards with a Eskimo, no problem. So we hike over the ridge and that's where Obi and Jet come in. I hit this baboon hard in the shoulder. That's how tough they are. I hit him with a 7 mag and he leaps off the rock and there's, you know, of course, it was a very lethal shot. But the dogs get on the blood, go right to him. These baboons, they tear up the dogs, the camp, everything else, and there's a bunch of them and they're getting a little close for comfort, so we came out and had a little hunt on them. Took a good one out, made a long shot, and they're tough. We're gonna go see if we can sit. We got the rifle now, see if we can't get a shot at a big pig. We're getting this kind of makeshift blind, and we hear a baboon bark. Here they come. Monster baboon, but you can see these are dangerous animals. Definitely have to be kept under management, so there's a lot of them. We've seen them everywhere. That's a monster.
Blue Collar Adventures, proudly sponsored by Nature Blinds, the most realistic hunting blinds on the planet. Freedom Power Sports. Eskimo Optics. Colt Competition, Texas Edition. Liberty Safes, proudly made in the USA. Fleer Hunting and Outdoors.
Go to a tree stand, which it's a fun place, and they have a really cool tree blind. It's kind of like if you're a kid, you'd love it. It'd be like the place you'd hang out with your buddies and look at baseball cards and magazines you stole, but it is a really neat blind. It's got a shade curtain hanging in it, and there's vervet monkeys coming in. We've got impala playing out in front of us. Of course, guinea fowl trying to get shot by me with my bow because I'm so good with it. But we're gonna let them walk because I want Crystal to get a shot at something. She's after a blue wildebeest.
All of a sudden we hear this bang sound on the top of the blind and this swoosh.
I'm looking out the window trying to check it out because, you know, I might have been taking a nap. I'm not sure. It's a good place to lay down on the floor, but Crystal's my spotter. And not only does she spot this Jim's buck, but pretty soon she goes, there's a snake.
It's right by my face. And Jay's like, what is that? And I look at it and I'm trying to stay calm, thinking it's just a tree snake, it's just a tree snake. And I'm like, it's a snake. And instantly Jay's like, it's a black mamba!
Any snake in Africa to me is a black mamba or a puff adder. And I look in the corner behind the shade is a reptile head with a big long tongue. To me, that's a black mamba. So to keep things calm, I just said, Crystal, calm down. That's a black mamba.
And it's like right by the ladder. So there's no way out.
What happened? What's a guy to do? The best thing, the most gentleman thing to do is say, you know, go ahead and you go down the ladder, I'll watch the snake. So she shimmies down the ladder, I get it on film, I'm looking at the snake. I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of this one, guys. This might be it for Blue Collar Adventures. So I've got my radio and risk my life to get down the ladder. And I get to the bottom, I'm calling Mike. Mike, there's a black mamba in the blind, come get us. And you know, he radios back. Are you sure there's black mamba? Of course it's a black mamba. It's huge, it's black, it almost killed Crystal. You better come get us. He said, well, there's a big monitor lizard that happens to live by that blind. Are you sure it's not a lizard? Stand by.
So, we bailed out of this lizard. We're not that brave. We thought it was a black mamba, but it's a huge lizard. And
Scared everything away.
I was taking a nap, and he just kind of freaked me out.
He just dropped it.
It's a reptile in Africa. I'm getting out of there.
It's a mamba.
If you see a snake in Africa, it's a mamba, because it don't matter what it is, because if it is a mamba, it will kill you. So it don't matter if it was a lizard or a snake. To me, that was a mamba, but it's not. We had all kinds of animals outside, and we bailed out like chickens. Actually, Crystal did first and left me here alone. And I just couldn't take that mamba out by myself. I don't have a tag.
That might be the only thing we killed today, though.
Yeah, that was not good for our cover. We blew it.
One of the species I got last time I was here was a reed buck. And there's also a mountain reed buck, and they love to live up in these rocks. There's clip springers that live up here, so either one of those, if we find one, I'd love to get one. And we sneak up on a bunch of mountain reed buck, and they're running everywhere in the brush, can't get a shot at them, and they bust off this canyon, they're running to the other side. That's when Huskema comes into play. Get position, we know they ran to this other side of the canyon, it's about a little over 400 yards, there's one opening. I've got one chance to get this mountain reed buck. We may not see him again. We'd seen one earlier in the week, I almost had a shot at him, he got behind the brush and he took off, never got a shot. So this may be my last chance to get a mountain reed buck. They start filing out. Female, female, ram.
Got him. I was a little bit shaky because I couldn't get all the tripod legs out, but I couldn't leave them because I would lose them.
I don't think I could have made this shot without being dialed into 420 yards exactly. That's where Huskema comes into play. Yeah, it's not a 1,000-yard shot, but I'm shooting at an animal that's tiny. I mean, from the top of his back to his bottom is only that big. He's 400 yards, he walked behind a tree. I sent it, it worked out. You know, that's where the Huskema advantage comes into play. You range him, you dial it, you pull the trigger. That shot right there just made a dream come true. I've been wanting to get one of these. I can't wait to try them on the fire tonight. These are supposed to be some of the best eating animals in Africa.
Mountain reed buck. You know, it's a challenging hunt. I've been fortunate enough to hunt here in South Africa for a few times. I got a reed buck, a common reed buck,
And this is the harder one. This is the one that's on top of the mountains. We started walking this morning early. We found them. They're in the thick, thick brush. And I couldn't have done it without my best of the West. We bumped them out. We couldn't get a shot on them. And we're got lots of elevation here at Shabalala. And they ran across, they dropped out. We jumped a clip springer, beautiful ram. We laid down the rocks for a minute and they started up the other side. And 412 yards with a Huskama is, you know, that's what we shoot all the time. We practice with these scopes. And they were walking just a little bit. I led him. I got him just a little back in the ribs. And no matter what, we send the dogs just because this brush is so thick, you don't want to lose an animal. They found him right here. Just a beautiful, beautiful ram. This is a nice mature ram. I know he doesn't look huge, but this is a huge, huge mountain reed buck, and I'm so blessed to have him. There's just a beautiful animal. There's a lot of them in these mountains here. They're just a tough hunt.
Blue Collar Adventures, proudly sponsored by Taco Casa. Real fresh, real food, real good. Kuyu Ultralight Hunting. Capri Camper. Most affordable camper on the road. Carbon Express. Traeger Wood Pellet Grills. Cinnamon Creek Ranch Ultimate Archery.
This is a family style experience. You don't come in and you are a client, but you're part of the family. You know, Narina's the wife, she's cooking for us. We're cooking stuff that they eat here in South Africa. We have a lot of meat, we eat a little pup, and the food's amazing, the company's awesome. Every night we get to sit around the fire and reminisce about the day. And now it's cool because now we get to talk about 2 trips I've been here. And I'd love to get people over here because this place is a hidden gem. Not a lot of people know about it. Crystal and I had a blast. It's such a great place to come. The amenities are very nice. You become part of the family. They take amazing care of you, and you have so many different experiences here. You've got the mountains, you've got the big giant kudu bulls, you've got the bow blinds, you've got rifle blinds. However you want to hunt, you can hunt here at Shabalala. Inyala's slipping through the daylight, and we're in a pit blind, a really fun pit blind that I've had a lot of fun in the past. And this is a great place. This is where I saw a lot of the Inyala last time I was here. And Mike has been seeing them on a certain water hole, and we're sitting waiting it out. And the wind's blowing. It's kind of an odd wind. It's shifting. We've had a couple warthogs come in, bust us. So actually we called for Mike and said, I don't know if the wind's gonna work out. And sure enough, that made that Inyala step out of the brush. And Crystal spots him as soon as we just called for Mike to get him. So I've got my head stuck out of this metal blind trying to call him to stop and hoping this Inyala bull doesn't see me. It's a big drought here in South Africa, and Mike's supplement feeding all these animals. So, you know, we're sitting at the water hole. This is one way to get a shot at them. It's hard to stalk them with a bow. The brush is so thick here in South Africa. So he's either gonna come to the water or he's gonna come to the feed. And these 2 bulls come in. There's a real young bull and there's a really nice, beautiful, mature bull.
I actually just called for Mike saying, man, it's not gonna work. And Krista goes, and y'all are coming outside. And I'm whispering because he just ran in the brush. I don't know if he's down. I'm sure he's down, but we put some silage out, and it's drought time here, and that's between the water and the silage how you hunt these Inyala.
Back.
Yeah, you probably
And right at the end, some Inyala bulls came in. I actually called Mike and told him, hey, we might be in a bad spot, and he was on his way, and I had to stick my head out the radio and say they're here. And I got lucky, and I'm blessed to have such a beautiful animal down, a great way to top off a trip to Africa, and hopefully not my last, but if it is, it's a great way to end your career hunting in Africa. This is a beautiful Inyala bull. There was
Just a lot of cool stuff this week. We got to spot and stalk, we got to hike in the mountains, we got to sit in the hides. There's a little bit of everything at Shabalala Safaris.
We take this Inyala back to camp, we take some meat, we throw it on the fire, we tell the stories, we talk about the experiences we've had this week, and that's what it's about, getting to hunt over here at Shabalala. It's about the stories we share together, the experiences we have together, and hopefully we'll have more together in the future. This is such an amazing family and such a good experience to come here and see it. That's what it's about. This animal means so much more than just a trophy on the wall.
I want anyone who leaves my property after hunting with me for a week or 10 days to count me among one of his friends, and I want to count them among my friends too. So I don't try and be the biggest or the best, but I try and keep it intimate and enjoyable for whoever comes and hunts with me.